Hi, I'm here with Darick Simpson, president of the Earl B and Loraine H. Miller Foundation. Firm led the search that placed Darick at the Miller Foundation back in 2019. Welcome, Darick. It's great to see you again. Can you tell us a little bit about the Miller Foundation and what the foundation does?
Sure. The Earl B. and Loraine H. Miller Foundation has its genesis with Earl and Loraine Miller, a couple that was very engaged in the community back in the 60s. Uh, they decided that they wanted to help fund what would be one of the first major children's medical centers in the city. Once they made that decision, unfortunately, Mr. Miller passed 1 year later, and Loraine Miller was determined that Long Beach had such a facility for children, and therefore, instead of giving 1 million as they originally agreed, she gave 4 million, and thus was the genesis of the Miller Children's Hospital, which is well known here in Long Beach and in this region. Fast forward, Loraine Miller continued to be very engaged in the community philanthropically over the years and worked closely with accounting firm Wines, accounting firm here locally, and other leaders. And therefore, that was the genesis of what became now the Earl B. and Loraine H. Miller Foundation, serving nonprofits that support youth in Long Beach in the area of education, health, and the arts.
Great. Well, I know you've been there now. We're coming up on 5 years.
Yes.
How have things been going during the time and what's coming up next for the foundation?
Well, it's been 5 years as of this November that I joined, and it's been a great ride. Our priorities have been to continue to keep a finger on the pulse of what the community needs when it comes to youth K through 12. That's been our strategy from day one, and basically evolving both in terms of the technology we use, which is now the Foundant Grant system that we use, to the point of collaboration with other partners to ensure that we leverage our strengths with the strengths of our community to serve the greater good of youth in our community.
That's great. Well, I know you've shared in the past with me too, when you joined, you went on a bit of a listening tour with nonprofits across Long Beach and really, hearing from them about their needs and how the foundation can best serve them. And I applaud you for your commitment to the community of Long Beach and just, really appreciate your work. I know in joining the foundation, you followed a leader who had been in the role for about 25 years, not the founder, but in many ways felt like replacing a founder and following a founder. And looking back on the transition, I'm just curious what advice you might have to other nonprofit boards going through a similar transition from a longstanding leader or a founder, and what advice you might have for the executive coming in following those leaders.
Yes, well, it's always a challenge to follow in the steps of an icon. And my predecessor, Mr. Walt Flores, was an icon in this community because of his work as the president of this foundation. He was very engaged over the years, as you said, for a couple of decades. I think that when you follow such a person, you have to definitely acknowledge the past. You have to acknowledge what they've done and stand on their shoulders and allow people to see your vision as a new executive director or president, if that's the title, and build on that, as opposed to saying, well, that was then and now I'm here, and so this is how we're going to do it. Of course, put your flavor to it, put your style to it, because when you're in your comfort zone, you can achieve your best. So do you, as what I would say to a new president stepping in behind someone else. Do you ensure that you have a team and resources that are required for success, and ensure that the board understands that. I had that experience here where the board embraced the ideas because I provided the reasoning for which I was suggesting certain things, and I provided the community insight so that it wasn't just a me thing, it was a community insight that allowed us to move forward in very innovative ways. And then seek to build collaborations is a big thing for me. And I think a big thing because no one organization, no one person can bring everything that's needed to the table to make critical decisions. And so therefore, collaborations in thoughts and ideas and in actions is important. When I say all that in terms of advice to the board, I would say really assess the needs of the moment that you're hiring versus the needs that that person that you're replacing began, because clearly those needs have changed over the years and circumstances in the community as well as the dynamics of your board may have changed. So I would say keep the mission in the center of the conversation and keep moving forward with that mission, and also focus on the strengths relevant to current time that would allow that mission to become a reality. Allow past successes and challenges to become a foundation for these new strategies, and admit when you did well and admit when you could do better. I think that those admissions, both from a board perspective and a staff perspective, are important. And then ensure that that person that you're hiring has the tools and the access and the resources for the next level. Maybe your that predecessor use certain techniques that were comfortable for them, but may not have been current for the current times, the current challenges, or just maybe that this person works differently. So be open to the positive possibilities that a new person can bring in, which is why you hired them in the first place.
No, thank you. It's great advice. And I think keeping the mission at the forefront of decision making always helps a board through this transition, helps the executive through the transition. I think the goal is always to honor the great work and the accomplishments of the longstanding leader or the founder, but still doing that in a way that sets the new person up for success, and the organization obviously as a whole up for success. And sometimes that can be a delicate balance. So no, thank you for all that. And thank you for your time today, Darick. It's been great catching up, and I wish you and the Miller Foundation all the best for continued success.
Well, we sincerely appreciate all that you've done in fortunately getting me here and helping the board make what I think is a great decision, but also what you do for nonprofits and helping them make what could be one of the most critical decisions in the arc of their success, because strong leaders make strong organizations and strong teams lift them up even higher.
Oh, thanks, Darick. I appreciate it. Thanks again.
My pleasure.